The new current market week is already upon us. So we're done with elections, as it were. Some folks are having some party. If a number of folks are nursing some injuries, there's a time to take count of the billions of naira that goes down with the elections. So, but let's get on my market straight and push elections aside, even though we can do without politics. Let's talk about inflation and debt market. Bosun Obembe, who is an FX dealer with Access Bank, is joining us live from FMDQ Exchange Place. Bosun, let's go straight into business, because we need the markets to move on now that we have the elections out of the way.
Good morning, Bosun.
Yes. So, what is it looking like starting this week with the major elections out of our inbox?
So this week, we are expecting a primary market auction tomorrow. So, and we expect that DMO will issue about 70 billion of 364 day, which most of the investors will be looking to. They have a very good interest in. So at the last two OMO auction, the 364 day was not offered by CBN. So with the tomorrow's auction, so there is about 70 billion that will be offered. So we expect a lot of interest on the 364 day bill. And also with this, it will bring more foreign investors and to have a significant impact on the liquidity in the FX market. So before election, rate was at 360 level, and after the election, it's still at 360 level. Okay, so we expect a lot of inflows coming to the system because of tomorrow's PMA.
Yes. So where is inflation in the current market week considerations for dealers, traders, and investors?
The inflation doesn't really have a significant impact on our market because it's already been priced into the yield. So the release of before the figure is released is already the effect has been priced into the security. So it's not going to have significant impact on the bonds and on investors' interest as well.
Okay, Bosun Obembe from Access Bank. Let's leave it there for today. Let's check in with your market a bit later in the week. Thank you very much from FMDQ Exchange Place. Do have a great day. Let's check in with the stock market as we try to wrap up the program. Temple Ashaju, our business correspondent, is live to us from the trading floor at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Very negative, nearly 1% to start the current week. The NASD over-the-counter market dipped 1.76% yesterday. The market's trying to get out of the feverish elections and get his own bearings. Temple Ashaju, come in here, join this conversation on the equity streets. Good morning.
Morning, Bosun. It's good to be back on business again, and that's after politics, actually.
So like yesterday, let's get back into business.
0.90%.
Yes.
We had.
Let's get
to business. We're down yesterday. Bearish sentiment, giving room for so much of re-entry after we've seen a bit of some 4 consecutive sessions of losses now. The equity capitalization settled at 11.79 trillion naira. We got activity level a bit weaker. Volume came in at 128 million units, valued at 2.3 billion naira. And of course, we had just 2,725 deals. If you look at the investor sentiment in the market, that was a little bit really negative yesterday in terms of the market breadth, where we saw just some 15 gainers as against some 21 losers, because the Cornerstone was the top loser, losing some 8.70%, and of course Cadbury was the top gainer, raking in some 10%, even though we know that in early trades right now it is already losing some of those gains that it made yesterday. But in terms of the sectoral performance, we had the banking index as the worst hit yesterday, down some 287 basis points. Sterling Bank lost some 8.51%. Jais Bank 3.33%. UBA was down 0.65%. FTMB, Union Bank, and of course Fidelity Bank all went down during yesterday. Consumer goods segment of the market was also down some 0.68% on account of the losses we saw on Nestle, which was down 1.99%. Dangote Flour and international breweries were also down. The consumer goods segment segment of the market and, of course, the banking sector are the two key sectors that a lot of investors really want to quickly put a lot of their money in. And, of course, we sense the fact that the interest of the foreign investors has also been around, and, of course, this gives them opportunity to quickly move out of the market, given their entry in the market in the week leading up to the presidential election. So now that you see a bit more of the local investors coming to the market because of the earnings, that they are really interested in taking position for the earnings for companies that are also looking to pay dividends, is an opportunity for the foreign portfolio investors to quickly also move out of the equity markets. So yesterday, we know that the industrial goods segment of the market was down some 0.44%. WAPCO was down 3.47% on account of the fact that investors seem to be looking at the fact that it's now saturated because, again, this same company released announced the outcome of its rights issue, which was subscribed by 100% and came in at 89 billion naira plus yesterday. So it ended up closing at 12 naira 50 kobo, and we know that there are some positives around this company. Year to date is up some 0.40%, even though we know that the industrial goods sector on its own part is up some 0.90%. Insurance segment of the market was down. We saw Cornerstone Insurance down 8% plus. WAPIC was also down some 4%, and Mutual Benefits, which even gained some 8.7%, was not enough to help that particular sector, close positively. It was down some 0.53%. But oil and gas segment was the only segment of the market that managed to rake in some 0.01% yesterday on account of the gains that we saw on Mobil. And this, of course, leads us to the energy segment of the market. Mobil released the statement yesterday announcing, informing the investing public of the fact that it will soon be releasing its earnings because the board members have generally approved its financial statement, the audited financial statement for the 2018 calendar year. So any moment from now, that will be released into the market. I think it's scheduled to be released on the 22nd of March or thereabout, if I'm not mistaken. That's basically the reason why that sector edged up some 0.01% yesterday. But generally in the stock energy segment of the market, there was basically not much movement. 11 PLC, which is the same thing as Mobil PLC, was the only one up some 0.06%. You have a bit of investors, some retail investors taking position ahead of that earnings that will be released. MRS was unchanged, O&O unchanged, Seplat unchanged, Total was unchanged, as well as Eternal PLC, all unchanged in terms of the share price movement. Japol was the only one that was negative yesterday by some 4.76%, and in early trades today, we're seeing some 2 million units already being traded on Japol PLC. That's just some 400,000 naira so far. But if you look at the NASD OTC, generally that was down yesterday by some 1.76%, so 741.75 points. We see the market capitalization as 519.75 billion naira, and of course the transaction there yesterday was some 14.95 million naira. Hopefully it hits a trillion someday, but then we had just 12 deals there, Bosun.
Okay, Tempo. Okay, here we go with the NASD over-the-counter market. Yep. Tempo, if we could get you back in here to this conversation, what's the outlook for today? Do you think earnings will still be a major consideration here for investors and traders who are shaking off the elections fever and getting on with their lives?
It is possible, Bosun, because we know that a lot of the companies are yet to, a lot of the banking names first are yet to release their numbers in the market. I mean, Bismarck was asking earlier if Access is out. I mean, he just wanted to keep up with the market as well. And I told him, no, that's not out yet. The only banking names that we have released into the market so far is just Zenith Bank and, of course, Guaranty Trust Bank. A lot of investors are currently waiting for UBA, they're waiting for FCMB, waiting for Access Bank, waiting for the likes of Wema Bank, even the tier 2 names in the market. Fidelity Bank is not yet out. So these are companies that a lot of investors will be watching out for now that the elections are over, even though we have just 6 states that are currently inconclusive. So investors will continue to take position ahead of all of these numbers that will be released any moment from now, Bosun.
Thank you, Tempo. Let's hang it in there for today. We appreciate your time and contributions to the program. For us, our business correspondent live from our studios at the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Temple Ashaju. Let's leave it there for today. Meantime, the Nigerian Stock Exchange says it has no hands in the very messy vision scape and Lagos State 50 billion naira sanitation bond. That was a statement issued by the Nigerian Stock Exchange yesterday. It says, we wish to inform the investing public and our stakeholders that the municipality note was not listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The SEC says it has nothing to do with the Visionscape bond, and now the Nigerian Stock Exchange says the bond does not reside with us. Part of what the new administration in Lagos will have to take care of. Let's leave it there for today. See you again tomorrow, Wednesday.